The season's penultimate round was a virtual elimination final at Steel Blue Oval, with Swan Districts and East Fremantle battling it out for the only remaining top 4 berth. Swans have not made the most of their home ground this season, having won just 3 from 8. A reversal of that trend was imperative today, with the black and white sitting outside the fort and needing to hurdle the Sharks, who came to the ground after an impressive win last week against the second-place Falcons. Outside 50, goes long toward Knott. He tapped the ball down cleverly. Second effort's pretty good as well. Howlett was just caught out of his ground for the moment. Here's a chance now for Jansen to come through strongly. Garlett's still there. He steps on goal. Brilliant, Garlett. Howlett again. This is a better looking kick. And even better than that, it finds a target just forward of send-up in Peak. Brett Peak. Oh, there's a man on it, left half forward. Here they go. Hancock, who started on the bench. He's able to put it through the middle. Here's Talon Ames, got front position. Used his body well. Dick, they want to get the ball in his hands more often. Little check side kick. Difficult bounce there for Howson. Now Simpson is going to be penalised. The advantage is with Edwards, who runs into an open goal. So obviously the umpire indicating there was a jumper being held.
Need a bit more, the Sharks. Back in the middle, bounces to the outer side, ends up in the hands of Lobb when Hancock couldn't take it. Goes towards half forward. That was met at pace by Cameron. The hand pass was astray. Racing onto it though, Roach. Roach goes inside the attacking 50. Terrific goal. He'll spread it out to Peak, and they've got an opportunity. Peak with plenty of space in front of him. He can take a bounce. He can take another. He can keep going if he wants to, Peak. A third bounce. He can run inside 50. He can head towards goal. It's through. Oh, he just kept going and going, and the run was rewarded with a major. Kick from Cameron inside the forward 50. No mark taken. It's been locked in. Gapin couldn't emerge with it. Dodd tackled strongly by Embley. Ball jars free. Gapin could get it out to Roach, and he bounces it through for his second. Right place, right time for Tommy Roach.
So McDougall runs to about 48 metres, sends a long kick on goal. Lobby's on the goal line, couldn't force it through. Oh, Perham swoops on it. Great second effort by Jack Perham.
Lob up, won it down. Comes out to Boakhorst. Lari battling hard, but emerges. King, he gets the kick away for the Sharks, who head inside their forward 50 once more. No mark could be taken. Bennell couldn't quite gather it. Oh, sock it out of midair. That's terrific! Henson! Oh, why wouldn't you celebrate?
The players will be looking forward to a rest at half-time, because the pressure has been on. There's been a lot of close physical pressure being applied. Hadley gets the hand pass, looking for Jansen. He couldn't take it. Davis does. Hand passes the ball wildly. Riggio kept his eyes on the footy. Controls it. One East Fremantle player falls over. Riggio has his first kick blanketed. He gets it back and makes the most of it. Quick reply by Matt Riggio. Still the ball is alive. Edwards, hand pass to Peak. Off to Brennan. Now they've got control of the footy. Off to Dick, and away he goes. Giving chase Rogers, not making the impression he would like. Dick, after a couple of bounces, long one to Howson. Again, the master in the air. Oh, was Ames, but reading it off hands is Henson. Runs into an open goal and kicks his second. They've been dictating terms for most of this quarter. Kicks to a contest. Oh, Bockhurst, great mark. Hits the ground running. Forward of centre. Goes with a long kick. They need a mark here. Gapin in the box seat. Terrific transference of play. That's what they were seeking to do. Swan Districts to get some fluidity into their game. Gapin kicks across his body and has jailed it. Swan Districts back in front.
It's true centre-half back position to the ruckman Lobb, who plays on by hand to Boakhorst. Under real pressure, he turns it over. Young is there for East Fremantle. The kick wasn't what he would have hoped for. They're gathering it as Brad Dick. He can take a bounce, hands it off to Peak. He can bounce and stroll into the open goal. East Fremantle back in front. He's got his third. King on centre wing, uncontested mark. He'll come back into the middle of the ground. Oh, terrible. He needed to find Tropiano, but only found Riggio, who moves it on to Embley. Embley now to Alari. Uncontested mark from 55 out. Spots a player all on his own, and Cameron can roll in and kick his four.
Hildebrandt will be happy to sink the right boot. Get it up onto the half-forward flank. Nearly Lob. Howlett overran it. Taking it there was Blakely. Gives it off then to Charlie Cameron. Can he get a handful? He can! Brilliant effort. An excited Charlie Cameron with 5. Terrific. Terrific support there from young Connor Blakely. Indeed, Charlie Cameron did finish with 5 goals to be the leading goal kicker on the ground. Tom Roach and Ryan Davis each kicking 2 for the Black and Whites. Riggio, Garlett, Embley and Knott with 1 apiece. And for the Sharks, Brett Peake, their leading goal scorer with 3. Henson and Edwards with 2 apiece. Perham, Hancock, Young and Dick each scored 1. Andrew Embley very busy for the Black and Whites. 12 marks, 1 goal, 7. The only blemish was his goal-kicking inaccuracy. Aaron Alari, 28 possessions. Ryan Davis, 2 goals, 3 from 19 possessions. Brett Robinson busy, especially in the first half. 24 possessions. Tom Roach likewise with 24 and 2 goals to boot. Wade Toomey with 19 possessions. Rory Lobb, terrific in the ruck. 20 possessions and 8 marks. Sean Hildebrandt, hard-working as always, with 20 possessions. As always, Rory O'Brien collected a lot of the footy, 29 possessions. Martin McGough, the skipper, had 25. Brett Peake, 3 goals from 18 possessions. Richard Hadley tried hard with 22. Tom Howlett was outstanding in defence, 11 marks. He had 16 possessions. Edwards, 2 goals. Hancock, a goal from 17 possessions and 17 possessions and a goal also from Kerryn King. No doubt that Swan Districts had a lot more of the possession throughout the course of the match, particularly in the first half. They went inside 58 more times than the Sharks. The centre breaks went the way of the Sharks, but in the end, it was the way that Swan Districts were able to organise their forward line, use the ball efficiently and kick a winning score, running out winners by 23 points. They led by 18 at quarter time, 18 at half time. It really tightened up. They led by 5 points with a quarter to go and they got their second wind, running out winners by 23 points, 14 goals, 19, 103 to the Sharks. Gallant in defeat, 12 goals, 8, 80.
Tom, you're in 4th spot. How does it feel?
Yeah, it feels good. Obviously, it was a must-win game for us and we set ourselves with this one, but now at least we know we're a big chance of playing finals, and if we lost, obviously we could have had an early end of the year, so it was a great win.
And you hobbled off just about 10 minutes ago. What happened there?
I just cramped really badly, and I thought usually cramps go away. This one didn't, so I was useless. I was laying down the field. I thought I got to get off, and I got off. I think it was unexpected heat that sort of got me in the end.
How tough were those conditions and the contest today?
Tough contest. They're a good side, East Freo, and obviously we haven't had the heat for the last 2 or 3 months, and 25 and sunny. It was a lovely day to play, but yeah, we just weren't used to it, and a lot of boys were knocking up towards the end.
And you managed to get a goal, but the forward line was quite congested, rather. And how hard was it for you to find space?
Yeah, it was a little bit tough. They dropped a few numbers back, but we're just able to link up and run it with our fast players, Daisy and a couple of the boys up forward. We're able to get a bit of space, kick a couple of goals, so it was pretty handy in the end.
And young Charlie Cameron kicked 5 goals. How good is he, and what do you think of his performance?
Look, he's a great little player, and I suppose he's probably going to get himself drafted, and we'll miss him next year, and probably miss a couple of other boys as well. But yeah, he's a great player, and he's kicked 5 today, so look out.
Well done, and congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Nikki. Cheers.
Relief or?
I think the boys were pretty good today. I think there were periods of the game where we didn't take our chances, and I think in the first quarter we probably deserved to be further in front. And we've done this a bit this year where we've left teams in the game, and when you don't put them away on the scoreboard, they can sometimes come back to put you away themselves. And they're a good side, East Fremantle, and when their run started to get on top of us in the third, there was some nervous moments, but I thought good players lift at this time of year, and to have Andrew Embley here, who has been very, very good in September's at AFL level, and he really lifted for us. I thought Ryan Davis was magnificent in the last quarter, and yeah, the boys got it done when we needed it most.
Whereabouts on the ground were you most impressed? Because that second half was quite nail-biting.
Look, I think our midfield was very, very good against McGough and O'Brien, who we had big targets on their heads, and I think the boys did a very good job. I think we controlled Peake off the outside as well, which was great, and a lot of that came down to as well, we had supremacy in the ruck. I thought the kid was absolutely outstanding. I think Rory Lobb had 18 touches. He probably had 10 marks. His care to get back and defend for his teammates was magnificent, and I thought he was clearly our best player and took that momentum away from McGough and O'Brien, which was so important.
And Charlie Cameron, great up forward as well. he must give you some confidence heading into finals that you can just throw this kid anywhere.
Yeah, look, it was a day where Dale Garlett didn't influence. We found that this year when Dale doesn't kick a score, we battled to hit the scoreboard, and to have Tim Geepan, who was having that great battle with Dodd, that he wasn't hitting the scoreboard as such. He was still doing a really good job, but he wasn't hitting the scoreboard, so we needed other players to lift. I think Ryan Davis and the boy you talked about, Charlie Cameron, was just magnificent, and I thought Rogers was amazing as well.
You spoke about your defensive pressures. How important is that for your game plan, especially heading into finals?
It's everything to us. We've got a pretty young forward line. When you look at Dale Garlett and Charlie Cameron and these sorts of kids, if you don't stay on the outside of really good players, we saw last week against Claremont, if you don't hang in at the stoppages and then stay goal side of Blackwell and Foster, they hurt you, especially when you don't make the most of your opportunities. So it's just that defensive intent to do the right things when they've got the footy, because when we get the ball back in our hands, I think we've got some really good pace, we've got some boys with real natural talent, and we can score heavily, but we've got to defend first.
Now you're in the top 4, you've got West Perth next week. Do you rest players? What's your game plan?
No, we're not in that position. It'd be lovely to be so, but I think South are just in front at the moment on East Perth. That'll change things a little bit, which I think will give us a look at a home final, which would be massive. We need to win. East Perth could easily come out next week and whack Claremont. That's the way the season's been. If that happens and we lose, we'll miss the finals, which would be a shame. So nothing less than a win will suffice next week. And at the end of it, if we are able to get across West Perth, it may be even a situation where we see them again the week after, or get West Perth in a home final. So there's a hell of a lot on the line, which is really exciting.
And you haven't had a very good track record at home. Does that play mind games with you?
No, not really. I think we played some really good footy today. We played some really good footy. And look, to come back here a week later, we know we can play here, and I'm sure we'll play well next week.
Thanks very much. Best of luck.
Thanks, mate.
Andrew, great game today. How is it to get the team into the top 4?
Yeah, it's really good. They're a great football club, Swan Districts, and as a kid I barracked for them, so whilst I haven't spent too much time down here, it was great to be a part of a really good win today and to play finals as well, especially with West Coast not playing finals. It'll be great.
And you've been instrumental for the team in the last couple of weeks. How have you found your game, improve and sort of help out the younger boys as well?
Yeah, I think just with a little bit of experience and just talking to some of the young guys and just more about just encouragement and just getting young kids to actually just go out there and play instinctive football. That's the most important thing. I think sometimes you can get caught up with all the structures and all the game plan, but at the end of the day, it's just really important to go out there and show your own flair and just take the game on. So there's some really good kids coming through at this football club who've got really big futures, I reckon.
And you had a great game today and you look like not slowing down. Could we see you again next year?
Never say never, so we'll just wait and see. Hopefully we'll play my final game for West Coast next week, and that'll be great. And then I'll sit down and have a real think about what I'll do next year.
And it's obviously all about family. You got the kids here as well to celebrate. Must be good for you as well.
Yeah. These kids are they're absolutely awesome, and does certainly put everything into perspective for you. That's for sure.
Thanks very much for your time. Best of luck.
No worries. Thank you.
In the other matches, Claremont had to fight it out against the Demons at Brown Stadium, but they got the job done by 21 points. A real turn-up at Fremantle Oval. South Fremantle have finished the season off brilliantly. They defeated East Perth by 12 points, and at Medibank Stadium, Subiaco also finishing their season off pretty well, defeating Peel Thunder by 45. To the ladder, Claremont, of course, sitting comfortably in top spot. West Perth seem to be safe now in second. They'll do battle against Swan Districts, who have skipped up into third spot. Now, East Perth drop with their defeat today at the hands of South Fremantle to fourth. East Fremantle still a good chance, a realistic chance of getting into the top 4. Then Perth, whose season has fallen away. South Fremantle, whose season is improved in the last 6 or so weeks. Subiaco and Peel Thunder. Looking forward to next week, round 22, the last round of the season, back here at Steel Blue Oval. Swan Districts versus West Perth, live from 2 p.m.